through my life and everything, I thought that the older criminals were for me. I thought they loved and cared for me. I thought they'd be for me, they were for me. But in the end, I just realised that I was manipulated to do the dirty work. You know, that older criminal who I was looking up to, who was saying, oh, will you carry that gun? Or will you sell them drugs? I thought I was big and good. But in the end, I wasn't. They were just using me. You're spending a load of jail because you've been doing these crimes with them. But why are they not writing to you? Why are they not visiting you? Why is it only your mum or your brothers? Why is it not them? And that took a lifetime for me to realise. But if I could make you see that now, I've been there, I've done that, I've committed the crimes, I've spent most of my life in prison. I've got the badge to be able to say to you, trust me, don't listen to them older people. They're blagging your head. They don't care about you. They're just using you to do their dirty work. And then when you've wasted your life in years to come, you'll understand what I'm trying to tell you now. But it might be too late. So listen to me now, you know.
Going back many years in our church, there was no ministry to people living in addictive lifestyles, whether it be drugs or alcohol or people who were homeless. And we realized that actually the gospel is very clear that this is something on the heart of Jesus. And also in Matthew 25, Jesus says, when you go to prison, not if you go to prison, and visit me, because of course Jesus is already in the prisons meeting people there. And so when it was my pastor, Sandy Miller, he got involved in the women's prison in London. And then he, through his relationship with the chaplain, asked if I would get involved. And in those days, no one in our church was interested in prisons. No one was doing it. And I felt very alone. I used to go in every week, but the more I went in and listened to the testimonies of the women as to why they were in prison, and I heard about their backgrounds, I realized how important it was that they would hear that there's a God who loves them, who forgives them, and can give them hope in their lives. So it was my training ground, and I'm really, really pleased I had that as my training ground. As we started to build the prison ministry, we realized that our church couldn't go and visit every prison in the country because we had 137 prisons at that time. So what we did was we mapped on a big map in our office every single prison, and then we contacted the local churches. And we said, we will come and train you, because if people are trained and if they're equipped to go into prison, then you can deal with issues of fear or misunderstanding of what it looks like. You can also introduce people to an ex-offender who says, yes, my life was changed because a team came in. And we found that as the local church formed like a bridge into the prison, so the prisoners would think, wow, there are people out there who care for us, because many people in prison feel that they are locked up and then the key is thrown away and they are forgotten about. But by bringing a team in from the local church who loved those people unconditionally, brought in the good news and maybe ran the alpha course in that prison, you could see the mentality starting to change of people thinking, well, maybe one day when I get out, there'll be people out there who will help care for me. Because actually the most important thing is, as people leave the gate, who's going to meet them at the gate? Would it be one of their criminal friends, or will it be one of their new church friends? And if it's one of their new church friends who welcomes them back into a church community where many people gather around to help them get on the right road to recovery, then their lives will change. It does need a team, a big team.
Yeah, so it's basically prisoners, and they can be uneducated, but they're very wise and streetwise in how people are, and the body languages, they're good at picking up body language. So if you go in there and your heart isn't really for it, they will pick it up and they will see that you're not for real, and they'll back away from you. But when you go in and you're true and you genuinely have a loving heart for them, believe me, they will pick up that you care and that you're there for the right reason. And it's them seeing that you really do care that will make them start to come to you a little bit. And then over time, they'll open up to you. Then over time, you'll be able to pray for them. Then over time, look what happens. People become changed. So that would be my thing for Christians who are going into the prison. You've got to be very aware that inmates can pick up whether you're genuine or not. And when they see that you're genuine, that's when you'll see that they'll open up. That's when you'll be able to get them to come along to things. You'll be able to pray for them, and they'll be a little bit more open up to you, to what because there's things what criminals might not want to open up to either, and that'll mean they'll never get rid of that struggle or they'll never get rid of that sin because they don't want to open up to you because they don't trust you. But if you make them trust you and see that and feel that you're genuine and you're for real, then that alone opens the doors for every single inmate when you go in there. Just be genuine, be honest and genuine to them.
I always say that if you can go into a prison and not judge people, and that means not judging them if they have murdered someone, or if they are a paedophile, or maybe they have dealt with drugs, become a drug baron. If you can go in and love people unconditionally and not judge them, you can come on the team. Pastors can't do all the work in bringing everybody in their community, everybody in their town or city to Christ. It means everyone in the congregation has a role to play, because we all know the gospel, we all know the good news, but we all have to know what God is asking of us, because we all have different anointings, different interests, etc. So when I was invited to join the team in order to start a street ministry, it felt very natural that I should be asked to do that, because I was already keen to spread the gospel. And I think what we have to do is release people as pastors into the calling that is obviously already on their lives. And it all starts with prayer. It all starts with God building a sense of a foundation of what He wants to do. And then God opens the doors for you. And you have to just follow Him as He leads and as He opens them. But it has to be the whole body of Christ getting involved.